welcome to 50/50 Booking. It's me, your host. We seem to be Sans, my co-host today. I'm guessing something's come up or he's just busy, but I haven't heard from him. Oh, no, he is here. There he is. Was a bit concerned. We're live, by the way.
Yep.
Just to warn you. So, yeah, I was getting a bit concerned.
Yeah, I was. I'd set up upstairs, and my mum's gone out and left me with Bruce. I had dinner going, and so yeah, it was a rush to get on a.
That's absolutely no worries.
Had quite a stressful day.
Okay, well, I know life stuff happens, as I tell people all the time when they do these shows with me. So I did a marathon yesterday. I did 3 different shows yesterday. So yeah, trust me, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
So, oh dear, we've got a bit of a marathon ahead of us for this show too.
Yep. I've been up since 7 a.m. I've been up since 7 a.m. So a bit out of character for me.
Yeah, normally you might be going to bed about then. So,
yeah,
why is that?
My mum decided that she was going over the road for a fag, and that was 2 hours ago. This is one long ass fag.
Well, you know, some people will say, I'll be back in a minute, and it's usually 5 hours later. But yeah, that's just how things go with some people.
Mm.
So it is what it is, in your words, to use your terms. But obviously, speaking of yourself, obviously, should mention about charity.
Yes.
The PKU diet month. How are we doing? Yeah. So, for those of you unaware, Aaron's doing the PKU diet for the entire month for the charity page, and basically no meat. Essentially, is what it is. I mean, there's a few extra bits and pieces on top of that, but essentially, it means no meat.
Yeah, tofu, nice.
It is for some people.
I mean, it's not that bad. Bruce. No. It's vegetarian. Why are you even interested? Get your nose off. Get off. I mean it. I'll drop kick you. You can give me all those puppy eyes all you like. You're not getting any. You've had your food. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just. I also talked to somebody about a camera lens, so yeah, it's a thing. Trying to get some more lenses because got quite a few weddings to do in the next couple of months. Which is my primary job for those of you unaware.
I guess in everybody being out of lockdown again, everybody's like, "Yay, we can have full-scale weddings again."
Well, here's the thing: the rules for weddings have actually been relaxed, unlike everyone else's. You just can't have You just can't have a dance floor. That's literally it. Everything else is pretty much allowed at this point for weddings. Here's the weird part, though: you can have 10,000 people crammed together in Wimbledon tennis stadium to watch the tennis. The kind of people dancing on the dance floor.
Wow. I mean, what's the saying? If it's good enough for the royals, it's good enough for them.
True.
Maybe Her Majesty just wanted to watch tennis again.
Yes. Oh, one wants strawberries and cream. I don't know. It's the tennis Wimbledon thing.
Mm.
So there you go. Of course, the other thing you'll find Aaron doing when he's not here is also streaming. Which again, I do need to update this graphic when I get the chance, which I'm actually going to probably be able to do this week. So
I for some reason, I asked for some like veg in my egg fried rice.
yeah,
I put lettuce in it.
they put what? Sorry.
Lettuce,
Okay.
and it's really gross. Fried, like nasty. You can have the lettuce if you want, Bruce, but that's all you're getting.
He sounds like the USA Network right now, but we'll get onto that later. But
I only just managed to finish watching Smackdown because I've been out the past 2 days.
yeah, that's actually what the USA Network are annoyed about.
Why?
Because they, for those of you unaware, they removed the Roman Reigns Rey Mysterio match off of Hell in a Cell and put it onto SmackDown.
Oh, they're annoyed about that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that was USA's idea. What are you chewing, you little menace?
Yeah. So, yeah, for those of you wondering why we haven't started talking yet, it's because we both have other stuff to be doing at the same time as the show. So we'll make sure we get the important stuff done before we start talking about actual stuff in question. But yeah, they were annoyed about the Hell in a Cell match being moved to SmackDown and it still being a Hell in a Cell match. Because obviously that's a pay-per-view worthy match that's in Hell in a Cell, and SmackDown got it, and Raw didn't get one.
Yeah.
And Raw is on the USA Network, and SmackDown is, of course, on Fox.
That's just the thing, though. You can't have more than one Hell in a Cell match, and people wanted to see a women's Hell in a Cell match as much as they wanted to see a men's Hell in a Cell match. And then you have all those people going, oh, but equality over a Hell in a Cell match.
To be honest, I have a much bigger issue about the whole Hell in a Cell thing to begin with. I don't think there should be a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Go away. I don't see the point in it either, to be honest. If you want to throw a superstar in a Hell in a Cell match, fine. Just don't make it a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view because you've got a Hell in a Cell match.
Well, that's the problem with a lot of the gimmick pay-per-views like this, is because it's called Hell in a Cell, you are predestined to have a Hell in a Cell match on it.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you just had normal pay-per-views for the entire, then basically when a feud merits it, you can then go, and now this will be Hell in a Cell, and it's much more of a surprise rather than look, it's now June, let's have Hell in a Cell.
It's just it's a constant reminder that the match is actually going to happen at some point during the year.
Yeah, which I personally think is a mistake. I think it's better if people aren't aware it could come up at any time. I think it's a much better thing because people like surprises. Because if you look at the original Hell in a Cell matches, up until it became much more much more prolific, every time somebody every time an opponent says, "I challenge you," and then the next words out their mouth was to Hell in a Cell, it used to be like, ooh. But there's been so bloody many of them now because of the pay-per-view. It's lost its meaning.
Mm-hmm. It's like Extreme Rules and TLC.
Right. Exactly. The only gimmick pay-per-view, I'll say the only gimmick pay-per-view which gets a stay of execution for me is Money in the Bank.
Well, yeah,
because you don't have to have that any other pay-per-view. There's no point. Put it on one pay-per-view a year, and if it's just happens to be called Money in the Bank, fine. But you're not going to have multiple Money in the Banks during a year because it serves no purpose.
I mean, the first Money in the Bank match was actually held at WrestleMania.
Well, they all were up until it got its own pay-per-view. So
I might have to kill a dog. I gave him a bath.
I was going to say that I wouldn't kill him. He's he's doing what dogs do.
Barking at vegetarian food. Right.
We're just barking in general. So
he was quiet until I put the laptop on. What the hell?
And that's why, because he wants attention. That's exactly what it is. So how did the jab go?
My arm still hurts.
It will do. Any side effects other than the arm?
Slight tickle in the back of my throat, like a sore throat kind of feeling.
Yeah, that's one of the more mild. That's one of the more milder side effects. So you've got off pretty light there. Do you know which one they gave you?
Pfizer.
That's why. Yeah, it tends to have less side effects.
Yeah, I think there was like kind of aware that I was a bit worried because of my epilepsy and stuff. So they didn't want to give me like any other ones.
Yeah, I was going to say I think that's probably why they gave you the Pfizer one. In all honesty. So, but I'm glad it went all right though, because so there can be some interesting side effects on some of them. So. But there you go. Right, let's not keep the people waiting too much longer. Basically, we'll start with a review of NXT in your house because it was literally the first thing of the week essentially because it was midnight our time. So, right. So I'll start in order. 8 out of 10. Well, I was going to do the matches first, but okay.
Yeah, but I thought if I gave you like the overall rating first, and then like as we go through the matches, I can explain like which ones took away from the pay-per-view.
Sure. Okay. We can definitely do that. It's not a problem.
But I mean, I don't mind.
No, we can do it whichever way you like. I mean, you're the one giving your ratings, so you can do it whichever order you like. So 8 out of 10. You said 8 out of 10, yeah? Okay. Interesting. Right. I will start. I'm going to start with probably what I think was the most obvious of the matches, and that's the winner takes all tag team match.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen here.
Well, yeah, I do think it was kind of obvious. By no means does that mean it was a bad match or anything. It was a fairly decent match, but yeah, it was kind of obvious.
Yeah, like splat, done.
I mean, both sets of champions had only just won their belts not that long ago, so the likelihood of them losing this match was very, very small.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a surprise if they had lost.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad that they didn't.
It was definitely better that they didn't. I'd definitely go with you on that one. So yeah. So for those of you unaware, it's MSK and Bronson Reed versus Delgado Del Fantasma, and Reed and MSK won. which is kind of what we figured would happen. Right, so next up, we have Xia Li defeating Mercedes Martinez. Again, not that surprising.
I mean, wardrobe choices were questionable here because Xia Li's outfit was actually like really colourful, and that's unusual for a heel.
It can be, but at the same time, really colourful can also be obnoxious, which does work for a heel, but it depends on the kind of heel you are.
Yeah, but with Xia Li, it was her outfit was very colourful. Her hair was rainbow styled, and she's supposed to be like a badass Asian like warrior, and she's prancing around in a blue and outfit with rainbow hair. It's just like you look like you've fallen out of a manga comic, kind of.
Well, maybe that was what she was aiming for.
No, I mean I don't know, but like when it comes to like heels, naturally the colours are like black and red or black and gold or whatever.
They tend to be very subdued. I think it's probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah,
I'd say that's probably true. Yeah.
I mean, I did like the fact that Mei Ying actually got involved this time and threw Mercedes Martinez down the side of the stage by the throat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a case of we got what we expected, and yeah.
Mhm.
So, right now for the $1 million ladder match challenge. Man, I called this.
You missed out the Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa segment.
Don't care. Wasn't a match. Don't care. On pay-per-views, I don't care.
It was gold though. Their little segment that they did.
Well, we're going to talk about the match they have on NXT, so we'll talk about their stuff then. Because I think it more relates to that anyway. But yeah. So the $1 million ladder match challenge, called this case for the belt.
Yep.
Because there was no way that belt was hanging up on anything, because it would have come off. I guarantee it.
I still think they would have been better off with the money bag.
Oh no, I do. As I told you on the last show, I think you had a very good point with that. Because they were going to have to do something. Because, like I explained before, that belt has a history of breaking, so you have to be very careful. Because it's not like a normal belt, because it doesn't have the firm leather stuff to it because of how it's built. So it's much more easy to break. It's more flimsy.
Yeah. Then we had Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez.
Didn't talk about the winner of the ladder match.
Oh, I thought you said LA Knight because you picked it.
Yeah, I was talking about the case for the belt. I didn't get on about the actual match yet. But yes, I did pick Knight as well, and it was, to me, this was obvious. I thought about the two of them. I thought Grimes put in the better performance, though, and he definitely took the better bumps.
Yeah. It's like for some reason they're trying to protect LA Knight. I don't see why. The start off he had in NXT was like appalling. He was winning and losing matches all over the place.
Yeah.
But like now it's, I don't know, anyone's guess what happens next. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight for the championship rematch, probably.
I suspect at some point, especially after what happened on NXT itself, but we will get to that point. So, So yeah, as you mentioned, women's championship match. Ember Moon challenges Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm.
Unfortunately for me, Gonzalez won. I understand why she won, though.
I mean, I got to say, the referee in this match was really lenient.
Yeah, I've had an issue with lenient referees of late, but I'll get to that.
But I mean, I did like the part where Shotzi came back and scared Dakota Kai back to the backstage area. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then just Les reversed the eclipse and.
Yeah. I mean, the Shotzi thing I liked because it makes sense because obviously she's Ember's tag partner, so at least her being involved makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Gonzalez won, and yeah, still women's champion.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a rematch with Dakota Bard from ringside, to be honest. But I don't think we're going to get it.
No, I think there's a few other women that are lined up at this point who will probably be next.
Women that should be replaced by Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh yeah, you actually beat me to that segue. I was just about to get to that. Yeah, so yeah, considering who's in the next match, yeah, because yeah, Scarlett needs to start wrestling, like I say constantly, and this will get mentioned again later too, but because it's still a thing.
Yep. I even made a point of commenting on Scarlett Bordeaux's Instagram post this week. I said, "You're a very beautiful lady. Like seeing you on NXT is great, but you're wasted as management. Can you please get back in the ring already?" And I actually commented and tagged her in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she is a good manager, don't get me wrong, but she's such a much better in-ring talent.
Yeah. Rush, so, you're in the way of my note.
Yeah.
And you just
the reason
my dinner.
Yeah. Hence the reason I flog this to death constantly. She needs to be wrestling because so much better. But on something that was not so good, the 5-way for the NXT title.
Can we at least say fatal 5-way because like the 5-way for the title just sounds wrong?
No, I'm gonna call it the 5-way because it was wrong.
You might say it was fucked up.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, fatal 5-way match. Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly take on the Karrion Kross. And for me, this was a fucking shit show. And way to make your champion look bad as well.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, he retained. So if you're gonna make your champion, if you're gonna make your champion look bad, that should be when he loses or she loses.
I mean, he was thrown through the stage door, went missing for 10 minutes, which left Cole, Oni, Gargano, and Dunne. He came back like fresh as a daisy, and to be honest, after 10 minutes, wow, we're so surprised. And like all of the other 4 wrestlers took major bumps for him. I mean, entertainingly, one of the best fatal 5-ways I've watched. But wrestling wise and the way it made Karrion look was just.
I mean, I value your opinion. I thought this match was damaging.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, he beat everyone. Yes, he retained.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he retained was.
I also have a problem with who he beat.
Who was it? I can't remember.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Don't have a problem with how he did it. I have a problem with who it was.
Oh, also, I watched this 3 times. I remember this now. Pete Dunne tapped out Cross like 10 minutes earlier into the match. You saw Cross physically tap. And it was like it was obvious as well. You saw it on the camera. But the ref knew it wasn't the right decision, so it wasn't the planned decision, obviously, because
yeah. And that's the talent's fault. They've put the referee in a position where the referee has to make a choice.
Yeah, and
it makes the referee look stupid for ignoring something so obvious.
Yeah, you saw Cross tap as well.
Yeah.
So Pete Dunne should actually be champion right now?
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if it's a pinfall, because there's ways you can get around that. But when it's a tap-out submission like that, it's really obvious.
Yeah. I did like Gargano's on another note, I did like Gargano's outfit, paying homage to Shawn Michaels. Did you see that they dressed up the dog as well to look like Triple H?
Well, they all had all of the way had DX styled outfits. There's a picture of them all wearing them.
Yeah, and the dog was dressed up as Triple H.
Made sense. Wow. Yeah, well, to be honest, the fact that Johnny Gargano decided to be Shawn Michaels kind of works for me because they're both overrated. So, don't get me wrong, I think Gargano's a decent wrestler, but far too overrated and far too reliant upon last-minute kickouts. And pretty much every Johnny Gargano match is the same.
Somebody check Gargano's DNA. No, somebody check his win-loss record. I think it's plummeting.
Probably. And to be fair, after the amount of time he spent in NXT, it probably should be.
Taking bumps for new talent seems to be his agenda nowadays. I've got one thing for you. Leon Ruff.
He is the Dolph Ziggler of NXT.
Yep. And I thought that was going to be Ciampa.
Yeah, and for those of you not aware of what I'm referring to, is there was a point in time where Dolph Ziggler was essentially the gatekeeper of NXT to talent to the main roster. And it seems like Gargano is the NXT gatekeeper for people coming into NXT.
Yeah, so if you can't beat Gargano, you're not going to make it onto main roster, basically.
Yeah, or at least give him a decent match.
I mean, Leon Ruff got to 205 Live, and he beat Gargano, so...
Yeah.
There you go. Not main roster, but it's partly there. Okay, let's call 205 Live what it is. It's a lightweight NXT.
I think that's been a bit generous, actually, but
okay,
I would go failed experiment.
I can't agree with that because of the Cruiserweight Classic, and I enjoyed watching the tournament.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a failed experiment because ever since a certain someone left, that program went downhill drastically and basically disappeared.
Puck!
Yeah.
Master Puck! Sorry.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because there was a point there, up until that point, from when it started, it was a decent program.
And then they shoved Enzo Amore into it.
Yeah, joy. But that's NXT in your house anyway. But speaking of more things that are joy, it's now time for Raw.
Roar. Hello, Rerun Raw. Where have you been all my life? Didn't I see this last week?
Probably.
Oh my god.
Not quite. There wasn't a battle royal this week.
This is true.
So
But what the main event about?
Oh, we will get there. But first thing I have,
I've got like a page and a half on it.
Oh, don't worry, we will get there. First thing I have is the Alexa Playground.
I mean, it was a bit interesting starting off the show with Alexa for a change.
Yeah, at least there's something different. Yeah, okay.
I like the start of the show this week, but I like Nia getting involved and like renewing the old rivalry. This all built up and built up and built up, like Nia versus Bliss, and we didn't really get to see much of it because the draft happened, and then of course SmackDown went to Alexa went to SmackDown with Nikki, and Nia was kept on Raw, so we didn't see much of it. But like, I thought like, okay, this is going to be interesting to watch. Plus, it's Alexa's first match back in 4 months. Like,
it's about that. Yeah.
Okay, we're actually going to see her wrestle. Sure, I'm down for that.
Well, it's against Nia, so
Yeah, I mean, like when I first saw this, I was like, oh, great. Hope someone's got the spatula to pick Alexa off of the mat. But yeah. I was quite just happily surprised.
Yeah. So that happened. The first match I have is Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. New outfit for Charlotte, we called it. I mean, hopefully it lasts longer than the last one. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, hopefully no malfunctions.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good match, and I like the fact that Nikki got the victory, but
I don't like it was a count out though.
No, I don't like the way Nikki's being used.
No, it's not good.
No.
She needs to be getting some pinfalls here instead of count outs and DQs and stuff.
Yeah, it's like even though they're wins, they're not like decent wins, like pinfalls. I don't know, submissions. It makes Nikki look weak and lucky.
This is old style mentality. Basically, it's supposed to protect the person who's counted out or DQ to make them not look weak for losing. But the thing is, and this is something that Jim Ross says, and I agree with him. If you're not a good enough or big enough wrestler that you can take a pinfall or a submission loss, then you're not really that good.
No, I mean look at Dolph Ziggler. He's not had the best. He's not had the best career ever, but he's laid down for so many. He's laid down for so many others, and he's going to be remembered for. He's going to be remembered for it.
We've also got to bear in mind he's also won world titles.
Yeah, same as Rey Mysterio and a few others that you could mention,
who all fit into the category of yes, they've been pinned in matches as well. Doesn't make them look weak though, because they know how to come back from it.
Yeah.
They're clearly worried about people like Charlotte. Apparently, if they get pinned by people they deem as not on her level, as it being damaging to her.
Yeah, and how many titles has Charlotte had again? Sorry.
Too many.
If you can't bounce back from one little loss to Nikki Cross, then she's more of a pampered princess than we believe. I'm not saying something.
Yeah, basically. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Charlotte isn't talented as a wrestler. She is. But clearly there's an issue there with her ego, if that's what's happening.
Yeah. So
I believe next
got the victory.
Sorry?
Count out. Nikki got the victory from a count out due to Rhea Ripley's distraction.
Yeah. Which again, this is another reason why this doesn't help Nikki at all, because it's like, yeah, it's a count out because Rhea got involved.
I mean, after this happened, if they'd announced that Nikki was added to the match tonight against Rhea and Charlotte to make it a triple threat, I'd be all for that, because she's beaten both of them, technically, like on record.
Yeah.
Charlotte twice, and she's getting the title opportunity. So,
yeah. Well, this is the WWE thing, wins and losses don't matter.
No, it's if you look good on a cereal box or on the side of a building.
Yeah, it's some kind of an issue with. So.
Then you had the Riddle and Hardy segment, which was really funny.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy and Riddle, and eventually Randy Orton as well.
Yeah. I guess at least Riddle and Randy are on the same page.
There is that, yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that even though with Hardy and Randy's history, Hardy was just like, yeah, you should trust the Viper. It was like, didn't he like RKO you from a table from the top of Hell in a Cell like a couple of years ago? Don't you like hate each other?
He didn't RKO him through it, but you're right. They had a Hell in a Cell match. Jeff did that swinging thing from the top of it, and then just fell through the table after Randy had moved about 5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that was like last year's Hell in a Cell as it happens.
Yeah, and like Randy had that whole ordeal when he was sticking his finger in his ear stretcher and pulling his ear.
Yeah, you got it.
Like, what? Why don't you two like hate each other? Why are you telling Riddle to trust him?
Because WWE don't remember the stuff they do themselves, so clearly,
No, even though they post what happened a year ago on their Instagram on a daily basis.
Well, the story writing team and the social media team are not the same.
Maybe they should like talk to each other once upon a time just for a refresher.
Yeah, because apparently the social media team have a much better idea of what's going on than the writing team do.
Yeah, history-wise, not anything else-wise, really.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the social media side of WWE, not that I'm an expert, because I'm really not, but the amount of effort they put into their stuff on socials is crap.
It's better than some companies out there, but it's also not great either.
No, I mean, for a company with the resources that they have, you would have thought they'd do better.
Well, I think that's why they don't, because they view other platforms as being the way they get to engagement. I mean, their most common thing that they like to push is YouTube numbers.
Oh yeah, don't we know it? We always get a announcement whenever they pass like a certain million YouTube followers or subscribers or some crap.
Yeah.
We're better than the MMA, the UFC, and NHL combined. No, nobody cares. No, we don't watch the wrestling for the oh my god, we're amazing section. We watch it for the wrestling. Not the storyline though, because genuinely at the moment it's crap. But
yeah, it's I mean, you well know the fact of I'm not a big social media person anyway, and
I mean with my work,
even less of a YouTube one. But yeah, again, because of what I do, I use social media. If I didn't do the job I do, I would not be on social media at all.
No, I mean you have to be on it for like your adverts and stuff like that. It's how you get a good percentage of your business, I imagine.
No.
Eh.
Most of my business doesn't come through social media. Social media is good for people to see what you do because it's an easy way for people to see what your work's like. Because not people, some people seem to have a weird aversion to websites.
Mm.
So, and the thing is, as well, most people know how to use, like, basically use something like Facebook, for example, or Twitter or Instagram. So it's easy to find something. Not everyone understands how to find a website, weirdly enough, but it is a thing.
Mm.
But as a business, if there's a platform where people are going to go to, then you need to be on it. It's just how it is.
I mean, yeah. Well, back on topic.
Yes.
I mean, I liked this segment. This segment was like an up for me, apart from the whole fact that we forget the history between Randy and Jeff, like full stop.
There's a logic hole, but for the rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, and what the next thing that happened didn't make no sense, had no build up whatsoever, and we saw a bloody dripstick shot that was just why. The pastime match, as I like to call it, between Hardy and Morrison.
Oh yeah. Which Morrison won, by the way.
Yeah, which is like good for Morrison getting a win. How many losses like is that for Jeff Hardy now this year? So,
Oh yeah, there's that, but this is why the next thing that happens is even worse.
I mean, like there was what they should have done before, like even this next thing happened. Like before this match happened, there should have been like a clip from like backstage where like Miz and Morrison started taking the Mickey out of Jeff Hardy or something and drew the ire of Jeff. Just like a 30-second segment. It wouldn't have taken away from anything. It would have added to like a storyline, maybe even started off like a new rivalry where we could see some interesting matches from Jeff and Morrison. But instead, we just got the match announced, and we was just like, well, why are we watching this?
Yeah, no, there was no setup for it.
No.
But the thing is, with some matches that can work, but not when not when not when they're established like these two are.
Yeah. I mean, then of course Cedric Alexander came out.
Oh boy!
I swear the only highlight of the Morrison and Hardy match was Hardy threw his tail towel at Miz on commentary, and it hit him straight in the face. That was legit the best part of that match for me.
Yeah. So, yeah. After this match, Cedric Alexander came out.
Yeah.
And started moaning, started saying Jeff was old, past it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, forgetting the fact that Jeff Hardy beat him last week.
Yeah, saying he used to respect him, how he idolized him. Yeah.
Which then led to a match, which Jeff won.
And he said if Jeff lost, he said he would have retired.
Yeah. Way to make Cedric look strong, by the way.
Yeah. Bear in mind, Jeff had just gotten beaten by John Morrison as well. If Jeff Hardy would have won that match against Morrison and then got beaten by Cedric, then it wouldn't have looked as bad on Cedric. But because Jeff lost the match and then won the second one, it just looked ridiculous.
Also, Jeff saying he'd retire if he lost to Cedric kind of made it really obvious as well.
Yeah, that he wasn't going to lose.
Mm-hmm. This was not good for Cedric at all.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me at all either. I mean, I get it. He's going after Hardy. He's a veteran. Hardy's had this whole deal before with the likes of like Dolph Ziggler when he was fresh on the scene, and probably a couple of other people and faces that we've got on the main roster at the moment. But it's lazy writing and crappy booking.
Oh yeah. It's also actively damaging.
Yeah.
To both Jeff and to Cedric, but for different reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But this next bit made me happy.
Oh, it didn't me. It didn't
also,
make me. It didn't make me happy, and we'll get onto why that is in a minute. But go on.
Well, it partly made me happy, but it also kind of made me question whether or not Corey Graves and the commentators actually work for WWE, or they just like do their thing on like once a week. Whether or not they're taken after Vince McMahon and they don't watch NXT or NXT UK anymore.
You're assuming any of them ever watched NXT UK?
Yeah, it's just Piper Niven made her debut on the main roster.
No, she didn't.
Oh no, sorry, she had no name.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this? Who's that?
Yeah. Also, how long did it take them to acknowledge there was someone else there?
Yeah, she was like the Invisible Woman walking down to the ring.
Yeah, we should probably explain. We should probably explain for anyone who didn't see this. Yeah. This was the return of Eva Marie, who was accompanied by an unknown person who it took commentary a very long time to recognise. Oh, look, there's somebody else there. Never naming this other person, but as Aaron Warren points out, it was Piper Niven. But they didn't reference this at all, and this pissed me off.
Yeah, it was like a middle finger to Triple H and like the whole of the NXT, like NXT side of things for WWE.
Yeah, so
especially being as Piper Niven is the first female superstar to be brought straight up from NXT UK. I think first superstar in general as well, without having to go through NXT first.
Yeah.
And that's including Pete Dunne and
no, actually no, there was Dunne actually appeared on Raw before he was on NXT.
I thought he appeared on NXT first.
This would be a while ago. You'll have to go back and look at this. He turned up as a surprise challenge for Enzo Amore on a Raw show.
Yeah.
This was a while ago, bear in mind. I'm not surprised you don't remember. It took me a while to remember it as well.
But she's the first female superstar from NXT UK to make her debut without having to go through the NXT.
Yeah, by going directly to the main roster, bypassing NXT itself, yeah.
So it shows how much of a big star she was becoming in NXT UK. And maybe like Vince accidentally sat on his remote and saw like a flash of NXT UK, saw Piper and Average in action and thought, this is some good shit. And yeah, I want that one. Get her here.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it was.
Who she is. We've no idea like what her name is.
I don't think that if Vince saw her, I don't think that's what happened, but we will get to that. But yes, Eva Marie was supposed to have a match against Naomi.
Eva did. Eva won.
Oh yeah, we're getting on to that. Yeah, for those of you who did not see this, Piper actually did the match.
No, it was Eva.
Shut up. Right. Piper did the match, and Piper won. Okay,
but
which was good. Don't worry, we're going to get to this part. Okay. However, Eva Marie then decided to go around telling everyone that she won. Okay. One of many issues I have with this, because she's going to take the credit for it. You do realize, of course, WWE and what WWE did with stuff. Do you remember what happened with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax when they were a tag team? I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I think Eva Marie's going to end up trying to body shame Piper Niven, and that's horrible. I didn't like it when he did to Nia. I bloody hate the idea this is probably going to happen now. And it's even worse because you haven't got a name for Piper. They're just saying someone. They haven't even named her yet.
It'll be funny if they come on next week and all of a sudden they know her name, they know where she's come from, and they show a clip of her from NXT UK.
Yeah, the other thing though, I don't know if you're aware of this, is apparently provisionally there was a name they were going to give her, but they didn't use it, and it was Dewdrop. I'm not kidding.
The fuck?
I know.
She's called Piper Niven. Viper Piper.
Yeah, they didn't actually use this. I don't know if they're going to eventually. I don't know if they're going to eventually end up using the name or not, but I know for a fact it was something that was provisionally in place for her to be called.
No.
Do you see why I have an issue with this?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, just let Piper be Piper and let her wrestle. It's fine. As from this match, you can clearly see it's fine. Because her against Naomi was fine. Liked the match.
Even if it was a squash match.
Yeah.
I thought you fed him.
Well, that's the thing. If there's a brand... Oh, was he hungry?
Yeah, wasn't fair.
That's fair enough. I can understand that.
Yeah, he was going after my vegetarian food.
Yeah, that should have been a clue right there.
I thought my mum said that she was going to feed him. Oh.
So, yeah. It was a squash match, but to be honest, when somebody's debuting talent like that, they should probably have that kind of a match. So I don't have an issue with the actual match itself. I thought it was good. I just hate everything else about this.
Yeah. So, okay, Bro versus New Day?
You're missing the brawl.
What brawl?
There was a brawl before that between Mandy Rose, Brooke, and Natalya and Tamina. They had a backstage fight. There was a fight.
It didn't really seem relevant.
Yeah, I'm going to get onto what. There is a reason I'm mentioning it, by the way. You just had this segment where you've got Piper doing this, and then you go backstage to 4 women wrestlers who are not going to have a match on the show, basically just being shown having a fight for no reason.
Alright, fucking hell.
My point is, this again, this just stinks of more bad decisions.
Yep.
That's why I mention it. For another reason than the fact of its consistently bad decisions regarding the female talent.
Yep.
That's my issue with it. But yes, as you're saying, yes, the next match is RK Bro versus the New Day.
There's quite an interesting Easter egg in this match, if you're a fan of things like that. Xavier Woods did the Andrade pose during the match. Slid underneath the bottom rope and went like that and stuck out his fist.
Do you mean Andre in an igloo?
Yeah, that one.
Well, in that case, I definitely don't care.
I mean, apart from that, it was a good match. It was actually like pretty awesome, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, with the 4 people involved in this match, you'd think it would be.
Yeah. I mean, a great win for Riddle and Randy as well. So.
Yeah. Well, it's good. If you want to build up a team, you want them to be against teams like New Day.
Yeah, and teams like New Day always put over people if they think that they're worthy, I guess.
Yeah, if you're good enough talent, they will help you. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and they did help them a lot, make them really good. I called the RKO coming though when Xavier went for his victory roll. I was just like, yeah, RKO, and then it's just like, man,
that's the
right.
well, that's the thing about the RKO. You know, it's the RKO out of nowhere. I'll give you a hint. 97% of the time, it's not out of nowhere. We can all see it coming.
Except for like those like 1% times, like Evan Bourne with his airborne in like 2006, where Randy literally snatched him out the air.
Or when Seth tries to stomp him and he catches him on the way down, stuff like that. Those are actual surprises, but other than that, no.
I mean, I think that like for a tag team finisher, they should probably like work on it. Maybe do a Bro Derek into an RKO, kind of like a Ticket to Mayhem from NXT, but a bit different.
Good work, yeah.
And they could call it the RK Bro, because it's a Bro Derek into an RKO.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
It's definitely the worst. So, yeah, next thing I have is Rhea Ripley against Asuka.
There was a Rhea segment as well saying that Charlotte's crumbling under the pressure. And I was just like, eh.
Yeah. This match was pointless.
Yes.
It did nothing. It did nothing for anyone. Which is probably the worst thing you can do in a match, is have it do nothing for anybody.
Times I've said that in the
Yeah, it's like again. Yeah, someone seems to have frozen on me. So. Yeah, disappeared. Figured as much. Okay, so it's just me now. He'll probably be back in a sec. It's just probably a technology thing, because that's how the world works. Yay! But yeah, Ripley against Asuka, blah, blah, blah. Ripley won this match, but yeah, again, it didn't help anybody. Served no purpose. Simple as that.
I don't know what happened there.
It froze and you dropped, so I'm guessing it's just a technology thing.
Yeah, it kicked me out of StreamYard. It said there was a technical issue.
Yeah, you froze for a while before you disappeared, so I'm guessing that's what it was.
Yeah, so Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Now, this was another needless WrestleMania rematch. And I didn't start saying that, so that goes to show how many times I've said that over the past few weeks.
It's also about the 5th or 6th match they've had in the past so many weeks.
I mean, each one different in its own respect, but seeing the two women against each other is actually starting to get boring now.
Yeah.
I mean, Asuka woke up and chose submission. We need to get a t-shirt for that. But, literally with the way that Asuka started, it was submission after submission attempt after submission attempt after submission attempt. And then Rhea just went into a full brawl. And yeah, it was just unnecessary, really. We could have had like a completely different match here. Well, instead of her versus Asuka, her versus an upcoming talent. Oh.
Also, you had 4 women brawling backstage earlier. You could have had a match with any of them in it.
Yeah. Instead of having that backstage segment.
Yeah. This was the other reason I made a point of mentioning that backstage brawl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ripley won the match, and yeah, served no purpose. That leads us on to Alexa versus Nia.
You had a Bobby segment before that, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. He's in the main event, so I don't care. We'll talk about Bobby then.
Bobby it was a silly segment anyway.
That's my point. There's no real bridge to anything that follows. That's why I'm not mentioning it. I only tend to mention the segments if there's a reason if there's a reason to connect them with other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this segment, as you rightly point out, was a bit silly and didn't really do anything, so that's why no. But yes, you are right. There was a Bobby Lashley segment in before this, but then it got to Alexa versus Nia.
Yeah.
Which Alexa won by DQ, and yeah.
I mean, my question when it came to this match was like with the openings, with like them coming out to the ring and stuff. My first thought was, where's Reginald? Because he didn't come out with Nia. And then, yeah, I mean, Alexa showed no ring rust. And Reginald come out and caused a DQ, so meh.
I am Reginald.
The whole mind control thing sucks ass as well.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So yeah, that happened. Then followed by Jackson Riker versus Elias.
Are we skipping over the Kofi Kingston and MVP thing?
You can mention it if you want, yeah.
Boring repeat of last week's thing, and the only difference was Xavier Woods was there this time
yeah.
even.
Yeah, to be honest, why I didn't mention it. So
yeah, I know, but being as like Kofi wasn't really, like Kofi and Xavier were in a really good match. I thought it like just to like at least talk about it a little bit. They deserve like a little bit of mention.
But it doesn't relate to anything. That's the issue I have with it.
I mean, I know, but it might do in future. If we ever see Bobby versus Kofi.
Which, to be honest, if that was going to happen, it should be happening tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's not, so...
Nope. So, yeah, Jackson Riker versus Elias. Another week and another walk for Elias.
Yeah. And for those of you who think that WWE don't think that Jackson Riker is a babyface, this kind of shows you that they clearly do, because Jackson won.
Yep, by count out again. And Elias, Riker called Elias a coward.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see this match again tomorrow. Probably with a stipulation, like lumberjack match maybe.
Hell in a Cell.
I mean, that could be interesting. Oh,
the joke is because there was one on Smackdown. I probably put one on Raw. That's the joke. But yeah, Riker won. Blah blah blah. Now we're on to the main event, which is Drew versus Eight. Well, I'm going to start with the one it was meant to be originally, and then we'll go on to that.
The last one was what it should have been in the first place.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that. But yeah, the first match we were told was it was Drew versus AJ Styles, which ended basically in a DQ because it was a schmoz. And as Aaron rightly points out, this is probably what it should have been to begin with, and that's the 6-man match.
I mean, McIntyre versus AJ Styles, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
But you can say that all you like. AJ and Omos don't have a match tonight. So how is it iron sharpens iron? It's iron sharpens active iron. While other iron sits on bench with huge colossal Omos.
But this is why the 6-man makes no sense either.
But it was more entertaining than the one-on-one.
I actually disagree.
I mean, with the way that the show was lined out, like the 6-man tag for me was more entertaining than watching McIntyre versus AJ. So don't get me wrong, McIntyre versus AJ is a WrestleMania caliber match, like for a championship. But just like one-on-one in this situation, it made no sense.
It made more sense than the 6-man did. The 6-man, for me, doesn't benefit. Also, the ending for the 6-man really
damaging.
This was stupid. This is why the 6-man was a mistake, right? The fact of they clearly think, pinning your champion before the pay-per-view means, we might think there'll be a new champion at pay-per-view. No, we don't think that, because if you beat a champion right before the pay-per-view, it means you're not going to win the title. It makes me less interested to watch it.
Yeah, like you called it last week on NXT with Adam Cole standing over everyone.
Yeah.
You knew he wasn't going to win, so you was happy.
Yeah.
So with this happening,
but to be fair, that's because I don't like Adam Cole. But you shouldn't telegraph shit like that. Is my actual point.
I mean, I want Drew to win tonight because I'm sick of this whole these ladies gimmick.
The problem is, one of two things will happen. If he doesn't, then they've got to actively book him away from the belt, because that's what the stipulation is. He can't have a title match against Lashley again. And if he does win,
we're going to see another match between these two afterwards.
Yeah. If Lashley wins, you possibly have him go on to link to Kofi.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, possibly a return in Brock, which is something that's been muted that's going on. So there's options for Bobby going forwards. If it's Drew, then it's just Drew against Lashley again, because you're not going to get Drew against Kofi.
No. Because we've already seen that.
Yeah, the way WWE book, they won't do that, because they just won't.
No, it's completely obvious and guessable booking. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, if Brock comes back tonight after the match is over and Bobby's standing over Drew, and Brock kicks the Hell's Door off its hinges again, like it happened 2-3 years ago now, mm-hmm. I'm for that. There's Bobby right in the eye. I'm all for that.
Yeah. I mean, possibly the other way you could do this, if you're going to have Drew win, is what you should have done, is have the singles match with AJ. Have AJ win the match. Doesn't have to pin him or anything, but have him win. And if Drew beats Bobby tonight, then AJ back on Raw the next night can go, well, I beat you last week, so where's my match? Because it gives you something different as a title match.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't matter if Drew beats AJ, because AJ can take a loss like that and it won't damage him.
No. But at the end of the day, this main event was like a roller coaster, and it had more bad points than it did good.
It was bad completely, in all honesty.
Mm.
I mean, the only thing I could say for it is the Viking Raiders got to be in the main event.
Yeah, we got to see Omos and Drew in the ring at the same time.
Yeah, as I said, we got to see the Viking Raiders in the main event, so that was good for them at least. But
yeah, I did like Ivar when he had that when he faced off against Lashley for a bit.
Well, there you go. So,
I mean, it was pretty cool. Like something I'd actually pay to see a one-on-one match. It's like Ivar doing his cartwheel while Bobby Lashley tried to hit him. I was like, this is like something that you don't see every day.
Yeah. The thing is, that would work as a match, like a title match for a pay-per-view, but they won't do it.
No.
So, but yeah, it's entertaining to see and it's fun to watch. But yeah, it's just something they're not going to do.
Yeah, which is really shit if you think about it.
That brings us to the end of Raw. So, what are we giving it for?
I mean, no, that's being generous.
I think it's been very generous.
Yeah. Wow, flipping me off on a live web show. That's not very nice.
No, that's flipping you off. That is not flipping you off.
Well, I mean, okay, I guess.
No, because flipping you off is that. It's the bird. That's why it's flipping, because flip.
Never understood that reference.
Yeah. So that's why it's that. That's flipping you off. That is not. All right. So yeah, so I gave it 2, and that's pretty much because Arcade Bro and New Day.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, however, our next thing is NXT, which, oh boy.
I know.
This had an interesting beginning to it. Out comes Regal for his little announcement, does a 10-15 minute speech about how much he loves NXT, can't control it anymore, blah, 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 blah. Karrion Kross comes out of the ring, confronts him, blah, 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 blah. And then we hear some very familiar music. And out comes
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I thought you might be. And essentially, he was offered the job of GM. Joe said, "No, I don't want to be GM. I just want to like be an enforcer or something." And that's what he was given. Somebody's on their Twitch. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to be doing a podcast.
I am doing the podcast. I'm commenting on the podcast that's streaming on Twitch. I'm in the chat.
So you're talking to people that are listening to your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, engagement is good. So yeah, essentially Joe's a special enforcer now to Regal. He can't have matches and he can't start fights. However, he can retaliate if he is struck.
Or provoked.
Yes.
Which kind of makes Karrion Kross lose his smile very quickly.
Yes, this also comes to effect later on in the show too.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, when he said about him being general manager, I was like, oh, great. But then when Joe said no, I was just like, wait, hang on, what? I was like, plot twist.
I would say, no offense to Regal, I like Regal, but Joe could be a general manager very easily, but I do like Regal, so I'm glad Regal's sticking around.
Yeah. I just like the fact that he's become an enforcer.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. And if it turns out that Adam Cole, who still hasn't found a challenger, by the way, for this week's episode of NXT, starts on Samoa Joe in the back of the locker room, does that mean that Samoa Joe can have a match on NXT?
No, it's no matches, remember?
Yeah, but he can fight if provoked. So, unsanctioned match?
Not matches, remember? That's what Regal said to him. You can't have matches.
Backstage brawl.
Yeah, but you're forgetting he's supposed to have an opponent picked for him. This is something we're going to go upon later. It's a pick your poison thing.
I didn't hear that. I
Right.
didn't hear that part.
Okay. I will skip to this part because it's still related to what's going on there. Basically, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole eventually have a backstage brawl later on in the program. And eventually, they're going to end up facing each other at some point. But they've been told to pick, they've got to pick opponents for each other for the next week, right?
No, they got to pick their own opponents for next week.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah. But they got to pick opponents, that's what I said, right? Riley picked his.
Cole didn't pick his.
Yeah, and there's a reason Cole didn't pick his. He was busy being unconscious.
Yes.
Because he was an idiot and
put his hands on Joe.
And touched Samoa Joe.
And
This I laughed.
O'Reilly immediately back off when this happened as well.
Yeah,
I love the way that Joe just ripped off his jacket and was like, "Okay, listen, you," and grabbed hold of him. It was like Homer Simpson grabbing Bart Simpson by the neck and just joking.
Well, did you hear that? Why, you little?
And he was like, "Do you understand?" Like afterwards, I was like, "No, I don't think he does. I think he's too busy being unconscious."
Yeah, unconscious Adam Cole was literally having this going through his head. Go.
It's like when all those homers fell into the Grand Canyon, that one episode of Halloween episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah. But yeah, so essentially, we don't know who Cole's picked yet, but Cole already picked his opponent. Do you remember who it was?
I like this pick, and if Kushida comes out to the ring and says, "I want to fight you for my championship," and puts the belt on, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, because then we could possibly see Kyle O'Reilly. Then we could possibly see Kyle O'Reilly as a cruiserweight champion, and it would be his first singles title in WWE as well, which wouldn't be a bad thing. And it could lead to another rematch between Adam Cole and, well, we're seeing that at the Great American Bash now anyway. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah. But if it's for the Cruiserweight Championship, it would be more of a main event caliber match. Sure, it would cost Kushida the championship, but in the long run, I think it could work. And we could see a rematch down the line if Kushida were to get injured.
Well, we will have to see, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So we jumped a bit ahead to get to that part, but I think we might as well just do that all together because it's all related. So
yeah.
So now we'll go back to what the first match was, which was Breezango versus Imperium.
Good tag match, I guess. Yeah. Very
one-sided. Surprise.
Very one-sided. But a win for Breezango.
Yeah. That's what I meant by surprise.
Did see that one coming.
Mm-hmm. They are former tag champions, bear in mind, so they're not a pushover or anything, but you wouldn't expect them to beat Imperium.
No, especially not when Walt has been given his marching orders. Even though he's not really doing much marching, he's sitting on the TV monitor in the backstage, probably gathering dust. Whereas in NXT UK, he's on the side of a milk carton because he hasn't been seen for 2 weeks again.
But yeah, that's what happened with this, basically. Next thing that happened was Kushida had a match against Baxter.
Ow, you can't drink Lucozade.
And yeah, Kushida won this easily as you'd expect him to. After this is where Kyle O'Reilly came out and said to Kushida, I want you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great debut match for Baxter as well. It was a really good match, cruiserweight division-wise, because we hadn't seen Baxter before, obviously. So yeah, I think this match was pretty good, but with Kushida in it, it's hard for it not to be good, I guess.
You'd have to screw up quite badly for it to be bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, that's...
$1 million championship coronation.
You missed something. Frankie Mono.
I'm bored of her already.
Yeah, but this I'm going to mention this because it's a story plot thing, so that's why I mention it. Basically, she's attempted to recruit 2 of the talent away from Robert Stone's faction.
Yeah,
and it looks like she's trying to create her own little organization. So that may lead to something. We'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be nice to see a female faction kind of incorporate the Freebird rule, if that happens.
Well, the thing is, because of the way all 3 of these ladies look, it kind of reminds me of a TNA faction called the Beautiful People.
Yeah.
So it could be that kind of thing. Not as overtly sexual as they were, but something along those lines.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to talk about sexual, then you've got 3 women that are very good friends outside of WWE that would be probably happy to make a faction. And 2 of those women being Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett Bordeaux. I think you'll probably be familiar with the 3rd one as well. I can't remember her name.
Well, that doesn't help, does it?
No. I have to do my research and come back to you on that one.
No. But literally after this is where the $1 million championship coronation happened.
I called LA Knight dropping Ted DiBiase. Just saying.
Yeah. It also works for Knight's character as well because he's a douche.
Yes. A glorified douche.
Yeah. Or $1 million douche, if you will.
A douche of culture.
Dummy. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, I called the whole backstabbing thing as soon as I saw the word coronation. I was like, yeah, this is gonna go like this is gonna be an Uno reverse moment, isn't it? And that's what happened.
Yeah, normally presentations, coronations, festivals, yeah.
Yeah, like whoever's coming out first is gonna hit the $1 million man. LA Knight came out. I was like, well, color me predictable.
Well, Knight won the match, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was always likely to be the one to do it. In all fairness.
Yeah.
So next thing I have is Dakota Kai against Catanzaro.
Kai and Gonzalez versus Casey and Caden. Yeah. I mean, it was a good tag match and a good return for Casey and Caden after their injuries that they suffered at the hands of Xia Li.
Yeah.
Injuries. They had sabbatical.
Yeah, time off. It's fine. But this did what you'd expect it to do. So,
yeah, put a win in the common for Kai and Gonzalez. But Casey and Caden really pulled out like some new and innovative tag team moves. A couple which I hadn't seen before. So
it's not really that surprising considering the 2 ladies involved.
Yeah, and they are really close inside and outside of the ring.
Yeah. Also, Catanzaro did some interesting Royal Rumble spots when she was in it, so there is that.
Yeah, and a previous history on American Ninja Warrior too.
Yeah. So all related. So that was all good.
And I heard she's been working with John Morrison behind the scenes as well. Interestingly enough.
That would make sense because Morrison does
hardcore style.
Yeah. And Catanzaro's style is not too dissimilar, so it makes sense.
So yeah, after that it was an EO segment.
Yeah, Io Shirai has a nice little talk, blah 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 blah.
It basically turned into an EO beatdown that turned into a 180 way turn, if you know what I mean. So Indy and Candice got their ass kicked out of the ring by Io and Zoe Stark.
Who came out to help Shy after Marsha's been beaten down, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole segment did a 180.
The thing is, this segment, I thought it was pointless, in all honesty.
This could have just happened backstage. There was no need for it in the ring. It could have been a 30-second thing.
Yeah.
They made a big blunder out of nothing.
Yeah. That leads us to the main event, and this is where we're going to talk about what happened before, because obviously they made an appearance on the pay-per-view, but this is much more substantial. We have Tommaso Ciampa and Thatcher against the Grizzled Young Vets.
You're missing something.
Don't care.
Diamond Mine.
Don't care.
Really?
Too much teasing. Show it, or I don't care.
This is only the second time I've seen it.
They've done it for about the last 2-3 months at this point. They need to show it at this point. I'm fed up of it.
It's said next week though, so we finally get put out of our misery.
Yeah, it took them 5 weeks for Eva Marie to debut after saying coming next week.
Because she didn't even wrestle.
Yeah, again, I'm not holding my breath. So yeah, the Diamond Mine thing, I don't care.
Mm.
If they actually show up, then it's worth talking about. But at this point, but this happens, no, don't care.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it before, and I turned around and I said, "I don't care." And you started rating on to me about a Diamond Mine and like what it meant. I was like,
it's about what it could mean. But the point is, I said that then. This is like about nearly 3 months later, and we still don't have anything. That's why I don't care. It's like, yeah, keep me interested, or I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you got me hyped up for it, and now it is what it is. Whatever happens next week happens. We're talking about it then.
Yeah, it's WWE's dumbass booking is what this is.
Yep.
So yeah.
So
anyway, yeah, onto a much more enjoyable thing: Thatcher and Ciampa versus the Vets.
I mean, fast-paced match, a lot of great moments. Crappy picture break, as always.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that part.
But a great high-impact tag match. It was a lot of fun to watch. And Timothy and Tommaso got the win. So
yeah, I mean, these two teams involved, you'd expect the kind of match they had, and yeah, Ciampa and Thatcher won. And that was the end of NXT. So that gives us. So what was that? So as a rating, what do you have for it?
Well, I didn't actually give it rating. Going back through it, 6.
Quite low, actually. Okay.
I mean, like maybe 7.
I mean to what you normally give it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying compared to what you normally give it.
I'd say 6 if I'm being generous to 7 because I did really like the main event between Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso versus GYV. But I was expecting to like it, so I was happy that I liked it. So
yeah, 6 is okay. You can call it as a 6. Not criticizing your marks. I was just curious.
Well, I mean, if you're surprised by that, you'll be quite surprised by NXT UK.
I don't think I will be actually considering. After when I saw this, I suspected this would be lower than normal. So
what would you rate NXT?
The tag match and Joe were good for me. The rest it was kind of yeah. Yeah, probably about 6. Yeah.
So.
Oh, and Regal not going. Sorry.
Yeah, Regal not going. So NXT UK then.
Yes. I have Wolfgang against Sam Gradwell.
I'm being called.
Ah.
Excuse me a moment.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be curious to see what
Hello. Sorry.
no worries. I'll be curious to see what your opinion is of the match.
Wolfgang versus Gradwell.
Yeah.
Started off with a mic mugging from Gradwell, as only Gradwell does to Wolfgang, calling everybody a yogurt. Yeah, Blackpool is as Blackpool does. Anyway, Gradwell actually broke a rib in this match.
Not that surprising, really.
Wolfgang landed roughly on him on the running senton. But I mean, it was a good singles victory from Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Like it was a good match. Except like nobody likes to see people getting injured, but it was good that Gradwell kept his composure through the majority of the match.
Well, the thing is, when it's an injury like that, I seriously doubt it was intentional, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But good on Gradwell for being professional about it.
From the way I saw it, Gradwell wasn't in the right position for the running senton, so it was actually his own fault.
Yeah, but that can also be down to both. That can be down to Wolfgang as well, because then Wolfgang can adjust for that.
It was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, they're both equally as culpable, more
Yeah.
than likely. So,
But Gradwell took the brunt of it.
yeah. But in all honesty, if you're expecting to be in a certain place, if you're Wolfgang, then maybe Gradwell was slightly more so. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was an alright match. Then we had Danny Jones versus Kenny Williams, or as I call him, Babyface. I mean, bad luck for Danny Jones is all I can say, because, well, bad luck is Babyface's finisher, so bad luck for Danny Jones.
Kenny Williams won, basically, for those of you who don't follow.
And then the triple threat match has been made official between Dragunov, Brown, and Joe Coffey for next week.
Ouch.
Which is going to look like a 18-car pile-up by the end of it, probably.
Can we just throw water in there and have a four-way?
I mean, if it's for the NXT UK Championship, yeah, count me in.
That's what I mean.
So they make that a main event of like the next takeover. You have a lot of people interested. I mean, Ilya Dragunov versus Walter defined violence for NXT UK.
Yeah, I mean, the freeway itself should be good, but I think having Walter involved in this in some fashion would also be interesting too.
If he comes out at the end and faces the challenger, like faces the person who wins the match, like looks at them, and then the other two get up slowly afterwards, and it's just the three of them in the ring facing him with his championship. That's the end of the match next week that I want to see, because then it will be the three of them, one of him, pre-shadow to a four-way, and yes, please.
Yeah, it could definitely work.
Yeah.
We will have to see, though.
Yeah.
No, if
another
I'm not...
match we get in next week is also Shaw Samuels versus Mark Coffey.
Another one that should be quite interesting, I think.
This is going to be like another Wolfgang versus Gradwell match, but I've not seen Mark Coffey in singles action for a while, so it'd be interesting to see how he keeps to the pace.
It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Next thing I have. Next thing I have is Noam Dar does Supernova Sessions with Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, and I like Jordan Devlin as a guest.
Yeah.
It was a great session, to be honest. I liked it for a change. And I'm not a big Noam Dar fan.
Uh-huh.
So Devlin being back on NXT UK was always going to be a good thing for me because I'm a fan of Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, of Finn Balor Jr.
Yes. But I think in some ways he's actually surpassed Finn Balor.
Yeah, it's just the lookalike thing. That's all it is. It's
Yeah, it is. And
So,
they're both from Ireland.
Yeah. So, but yeah, him
He's
and
like
Noam Dar. Yeah, him and Noam Dar seem to have come to an understanding. So we'll see how that transpires.
Yeah, I mean, with Devlin being back on the main roster as well, we might eventually see another Devlin versus Walter. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that either.
Devlin might.
True. I mean, last time when he tried to Spanish fly Walter, it was almost comical.
Yeah. You know the other week when we had Dragunov literally knocked the crap out of Noam Dar? Do you reckon Noam Dar should challenge Walter? So like he can compare.
He should come up with his own scale for chops. So I mean, after his matches with Trent Seven as well.
Yeah.
Okay, chop my chest. He'd be standing in the performance center. Here, chop my chest. You're about a Trent 7.5.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. You just have a slap for that. It's terrible. Right. Bruce, where are you when I need you? Right.
He's snoozing, finally.
Figures. Right. Next thing I have after that is Tyler Bate offers a Heritage Cup match to Jack Stars, who turns it down.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked by the fact that he turned it down. But I think it's the whole Piper Niven thing that they had going on.
Yeah. What didn't surprise me was that Dave Mastiff told him, "Don't turn it down."
Yeah, you're a twat.
Yeah.
Pick it up. So
I'm with Mastiff.
Yeah, I'm with Mastiff too. I think it would be a great match.
If somebody offers you a title match, say yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, next week, again, another match has been announced. T.O. Man versus Oliver Carter.
Nice.
Which should be quite fast-paced and with a hint of brutality, because obviously T.O. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, another match I wouldn't mind seeing anytime soon. T.O. Man versus Ilya Dragunov.
Do you have something against T.O. Man?
No, it's not like T.O. Man and Ilya are actually quite similar. So I'd actually like to see them compete in a match or maybe even tag up.
I just find it funny when people want to put people in matches with Dragunov or Walter. It's like, do you want these people to die? So next match I have is Nathan Frazier against Rohan Raja.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty one-sided match in favour of Raja, to be honest. But it did go back and forth.
Yeah, but who won, though?
A really good match, fast-paced. Then, of course, Fraser got the victory.
Yeah. Just goes to show you, just because you have control of the match does not mean you're going to win it.
It was kind of like an uphill battle for Fraser, to be honest. And we haven't seen a match like it for him since he's been back.
That's a good thing, though. You want to see something different.
Yeah, and Raja showed a lot of promise as well.
That's good. It's always good when a match. It's always good when a match benefits both the people in it, even if one of them lose. As long as it benefits, as long as you get something out of it, then it works.
Yeah, and I mean at the end as well, Nathan Fraser went to give Raja a handshake, and the lights in the arena flickered, and what appeared to be a giant eye showed up on the screen. of the BT Sports Arena.
NXT UK not paying their electric bill again.
Yeah, and then the commentator, I can't remember what his name is. Not Nigel McGuinness, the other guy.
Oh right, yeah. Oh, I never remember his name either, but I know who you mean.
Yeah, he turned around and said, "Was that T.O. Man's eye?" I was like, "Oh my god, they're not doing that, are they?" So literally, this giant eye flickered up on the screen.
Maybe it was Bray Wyatt.
It looked like a Turkish eye.
Yeah, maybe it's Bray Wyatt. He doesn't. We no one seems to know where he is, so maybe it's Bray.
I heard that he's still in catering. But I heard that he's making his return back soon, though, so might see him tonight. Never know.
Well, you never do. I mean, although he probably doesn't particularly have fond memories of Hell in a Cell.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying about that.
Saying that he won his first Universal Championship in Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins.
No, he didn't.
As the Fiend.
The Hell in a Cell thing is the one where he got crushed by all the chairs and all that stuff. This the 2019 one. It's the one that got critically panned.
Oh, I can't remember.
Because he literally got hit with everything and kept getting up, and then they like DQ'd it or something. It ended had a really stupid ending.
Yeah.
So that was the 2019 one. It was considered the worst Hell in a Cell match ever.
Yeah. And then, well, after the whole T.O. Man's eye thing, it cut backstage to Jordan Devlin walk into his dressing room, and he went into his dressing room, and he found a kid in there, making himself a coffee.
Okay, I'm glad you elaborated on that, because I thought it sounds a bit dodgy.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, and a kid said, "If you want me out of your dressing room, make me." He said, "I'm not going to make you, but Sid will. Where is he?" And he walked out of his own dressing room and looked for Sid Scala to get a kid out of his dressing room. It's just like, really?
Yeah, no.
Like, okay. So you've gone from like an Irish badass to a pompous puss that doesn't want to throw a kid out of your dressing room.
WWE booking.
Yeah, talk about whiplash, character whiplash.
Yeah. That, of course, leads us to our main event, which is Joseph Connors and Ginny versus Subculture.
And, of course, by Subculture, we're talking Danny Luna and Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah.
It was a really impressive showing from Connors, to be honest, with the way he wrestled. He's shown like a lot of improvements since he's been hanging around Ginny, which is kind of weird, being as Ginny's not exactly amazing at wrestling.
Sometimes that happens, though. You can be around somebody and it just makes you better.
Or it could just be like the fact that she's not really that good, making him look even better than he already is.
Well, whatever it is, it clearly works.
Yeah, I mean, up until the point where he landed on his back and got a 630 for his troubles.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened until Subculture won the match, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many superstars in the WWE roster at the moment that are televised that can do the 630 as well as Ricochet. And I've only ever seen Flash Morgan Webster do it this one time, and I was actually surprised. I was thinking he was just going to do his like Eaton rifle or a senton, and he pulled a 630 out of his bag of tricks. So I was like, well then, okay.
I'll say at the current roster, I think I've only seen 3 of them actually do it. Can you name the third one? You've named two of them.
AJ Styles?
Ali.
I don't think it was a 6:30.
I've seen him do it. Is my point.
Ah.
I've seen him do it. It's never a finisher for him, but I've seen him do the move before.
Yeah, because I know his finisher is the inverted 450 splash.
Yeah, but there's been matches where he's done that move.
Yeah.
So AJ, not at the age he's at now. AJ when he's younger probably could have done it, but he never has done it, to my knowledge.
I've seen AJ do it on tape, so that's why I said AJ. So
Yeah.
I watched one of his old TNA. I think it was TNA.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if he'd done it when he was younger, but I don't see him doing it now.
This was before he had a beard and long hair.
Yeah, that would be baby AJ Styles. So yeah, he would have been very young at that point. So yeah, it's quite possible. It's quite possible because there's moves he done back then which he doesn't do now, because physically they take too much of a toll.
He looked like something out of New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, he did when he was younger. So yeah.
I don't remember him.
The hair and the beard stuff only happened towards his later TNA career. Then that's when he left for New Japan, and that's when the beard and the hair really got going.
Yeah. So, like, all in all, NXT UK was okay.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of annoyed me, but like disappointed me more than anything, we didn't hear from Kaylee Ray or Naoko Satomura, but they showed us like clips of what happened last week and everything. It was just like, okay, we saw the highlights from last week, thanks, but where's the champion?
Well, the thing is, he didn't lead to anything, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, it was anticlimactic to say the least.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought we might get like an angry Kaylee Ray coming, like after like say Nathan Fraser's win, and like with Tia around and stuff, and her just grab a microphone. She like goes on like a 5-minute rant about how she's the forever champion and she wants her rematch and she wants it now, in like her angry like Scottish voice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would expect something from either her or from the champion.
Yeah, I mean,
or even both.
Yeah, both. But yeah, part of me thinks that Kaylee Ray's going to be taken up to NXT now, because obviously she's no longer got the championship, so she's not.
Or she could end up being called up to the main roster, and they put her with somebody, and nobody knows who she is, and they don't know her name.
Not with their history on NXT UK, I don't see that happening.
Wait, no, that's already happened.
Yeah.
Mind you, unless SmackDown wants one that does that, so maybe they'll put her on SmackDown. But yeah. Yeah. So what mark do you want to give it, Mark, now?
I gave it a 7.
Yeah.
Which is kind of low for NXT UK. It's the lowest it's been for a few weeks.
It is. It's still better than the other shows, though.
Not biased.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm talking about the by grade you gave it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but not biased.
Which, of course, this. This leads us to SmackDown.
Just don't.
Right. I'm just going to do this first bit and get it out of the way. Rey Mysterio basically tries to justify and explain why his Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns is now going to be on SmackDown instead of on Hell in a Cell. Blah 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 blah. Done. Right.
Roman comes out, says, "Oh, we tried it your way." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and off they go. Right, and that leads us to our first match, which is a tag match between Apollo Crews and Aziz against Kevin Owens and Big E. This hasn't happened before. And what we have to ask Aaron is, which way was the spear?
I didn't actually see the spear this week. I wasn't paying attention.
You neglected your spear watch.
I was doing household chores, putting clothes on a clothes horse.
Okay.
I had the start of Smackdown on in the background behind me, so I wasn't paying attention to the promo or the entrances of the first match.
To be fair, I can see why you didn't really miss much. Cruz and Aziz won the match. That dumb.
I knew that Apollo and Aziz won the match, but I didn't think that they had the spear with them. Did they have the spear with them?
Not what I saw. Not what I saw, but you're the one who's supposed to be doing spear watch.
I only spear watch on Saturdays.
Happy then.
I mean,
you're supposed to tell us if Aziz has got the spear the right way or not.
past caring now.
Yeah. So they are, I'm guessing. So yeah.
I mean, a good debut for Aziz.
Yeah. Debut. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crap, to be honest, not gonna lie. Tag team match wise.
Yeah.
It reminded me of when Braun Strowman picked Nicholas at WrestleMania.
Which one of them's Nicholas?
Apollo. And he's the one already holding the belt.
Oh, that's cute, right? So yeah, so that match is over and done with. So our next match is a copy.
You're never going to look at Apollo the same way again, are you?
I'm just going to call him Nicholas from now on, right? But we have once again a copy and paste job. So Control C, Control V. It's Nakamura versus Corbin.
I mean, I will say that in this match, Corbin made a clothesline that would have made JBL blush.
Yeah.
Because Nakamura did like a full 360 and a half spin and landed flat on the canvas.
Yeah, there is that. Also, in defense of this match, at least there were stakes to this match.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware,
really made no sense.
Yeah, for those of you unaware, it does make sense. I'll get onto that in a minute. Corbin put his crown on the line. So
and they call it Battle for the Crown.
It's a King of the Ring thing. So yeah, that's fine. And they had the match, and Nakamura won.
And is now the one true king of SmackDown.
Yeah. The reason I'm going on to why this makes sense now, because apparently this has come out since they're apparently going to try and bring back a bunch of these gimmick things that used to be on pay-per-views, and one of which is King of the Ring.
Oh joy!
So this may be why this has happened. That would be my guess.
Yay!
So we will see. But the thing is with that,
King of the Ring. Queen of the Ring.
Oh, they will. Don't you worry. But out of the things that I mentioned, the one I particularly had found particularly interesting, because at the time this was originally done, the internet in the world was not such a big thing as it is now, and that was Cyber Sunday. Now, if Aaron doesn't remember Cyber Sunday, we will refresh his memory. Do you remember what Cyber Sunday is?
Yes.
Okay. Now, bear in mind with the way the modern world is with technology and the internet, this, I think, is a much more interesting concept now than what it was then.
It could get very interesting. Yeah. There could be some really cool matchups.
So if this is one of the ones that does get brought back, this is one of the ones that was mentioned, I think this could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if it does, I'm all for it. I'll be voting on some of the polls and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it'd
be interesting if you saw Aziz versus Hornswoggle.
You could end up voting on. You could have matches where you vote on I don't know. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in a dog food match. Oh wait, no, I think that's happened.
It's a doggy dog world.
Yeah, and we all know Roman is the big dog.
Awooga.
So, but yeah. So we'll see what happens to this. But yeah, cool. But Nakamura is now king of the ring.
Oh, one thing I didn't like about this segment was that they actually made Baron Corbin pretend to cry about losing the King of the Ring thing. So that they actually zoomed in on his face and you saw like how he'd irritated his eyes beforehand.
Well, to me, it also makes no sense for Corbin as a character. Corbin as a character should be like throwing stuff around and like throwing a strop. He shouldn't be crying.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
A wrestler like The Miz doing the crying thing, sure, it works for The Miz's character. You can see him doing it.
Yeah, he's done it before.
Yeah. There's a consistent path for that, but that makes no sense for Corbin.
No.
So, next thing I have here. Sorry?
Bianca Belair segment.
Yeah, where she tells us now that her match against Bayley is now inside Hell in a Cell.
I mean, it explains why Roman and Ray didn't have their match tonight. Because they only do 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
That's not why it got moved, by the way. I've actually been told there's a reason why.
Why?
I'm not saying it on air.
Tell me why.
I will tell you, but not on air.
Wow, you didn't do the Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing. I'm kind of disgusted. Oh well.
I don't watch that, so.
You should have got the song reference.
Why?
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. No? Wow.
Anyway, right. Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the real world, apart from where Aaron is, I'm guessing singing karaoke there.
Oh, you know what karaoke is? Oh, okay, that's good.
In all honesty, I have no idea what that song is.
So, I can't remember the name of it. Fudge. I think it's called Tell Me Why. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
No.
During this announcement, Bayley attacks Bianca as well.
Help! Bruce! Stop! Bruce!
No!
You're lucky it's not dog in a cell, you are.
Ugh.
That's your phone.
Bastard.
So yeah, once Bianca makes this announcement, afterwards she's attacked by Bayley.
Yeah. Bayley pretty much uses Bianca's hair to her advantage and yeah.
They attack each other, fight, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, and then we have Jimmy Uso talking to Roman Reigns because apparently why not?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Jey Uso's gone missing.
That was Jey Uso.
Not according to the information I have.
Oh right, yeah, excuse me. My bad.
Yeah, because Jimmy was looking for Jey and couldn't find him. when he found Roman. So
I was making a reference to what Roman's been saying the past few weeks. Like, what does it matter with the twins? Because they both look the same.
they don't, but okay. For one thing, they both have very different tattoos.
I know.
So, yeah.
Mm.
And he told him not to worry about the match tonight. Blah blah blah. Okay, so that leads to the match where you got Otis against Angelo Dawkins.
I like the new entrance music and stuff for the Alpha Academy. About bloody time.
Yeah, it needed something, definitely.
But it does kind of remind me of the old Kurt Angle crew, like Team Olympia or Team Olympics or whatever it was.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst idea.
Yeah. And the match never really happened. It became a mugging.
Essentially, it was deemed a no contest, but I think this should actually be a disqualification to Dawkins because, both Gable and Otis attacked Dawkins.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Next up, we have Cesaro being interviewed, and then the interviewer being replaced by Rollins.
Which was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
I found what Rollins said quite interesting.
Yeah, this finished with Rollins basically being pushed off his chair by Cesaro, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, at least it was something different.
Yeah, and we're going to see Rollins versus Cesaro for the umpteenth time.
Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Tonight, yeah. That's probably what's replacing the Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio.
It is. I have a full list of the card, which we're going to get to in a minute when we do predictions.
Joy.
So, and that leads us to the main event of Hell in a Cell. I mean SmackDown. Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns. I find this funny for two reasons. One, again, it's Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. Two, it's a big red cage on the blue brand.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it even funnier as well because I looked into it before I came on, and the Hell in a Cell match did nothing for the viewings or ratings at all.
But that was one of the reasons why the USA Network was not happy with this being put on there because it was deemed like a pay-per-view worthy attraction, which should only have been on the pay-per-view, but they moved one of these Cell matches onto SmackDown, which is on Fox, and apparently that's what upset USA.
Yep.
So it's what you'd expect from a Hell in a Cell match, and put it this way, you could guess who won this match without watching it.
Yeah, but the way it happened, I was actually like, I was actually happy with the match. Like,
it wasn't. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't the worst match or anything, but it was too obvious who'd win, especially once it was moved to SmackDown.
I mean, my mum doesn't even watch wrestling anymore, and then she sat over from me and she's literally just said, when you said you can probably guess who won this match without having to watch it, she said Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that obvious.
Yeah, so there's just certain scenarios you can really obviously tell.
This was like Rey Mysterio versus Kane at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
And as my mum graphics to constantly remind me it's all fake anyway.
That's not quite true, is it? It's scripted. That's something very different.
No, the fighting, I mean.
I was going to say, speaking of somebody who's actually wrestled, I can tell you it's not all fake. It actually hurts.
You have to know how to land.
Trust me, there are things you can do which there's no way you can learn to land.
What are you after?
So,
I mean, I thought when the toolbox was brought out from underneath the ring during the match, I'll say this, I thought that was like foreshadowing the removal of Ray's mask. I thought Roman might turn it around, remove his mask, and then put him in the guillotine.
Yeah.
But I liked
it was John Isaacs and Big Daddy.
Yeah, I remember them too. Shirley Crabtree.
That's it. That was Big Daddy, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, his brother used to run it all.
And what's his name? Still fighting, isn't he? The coffin one.
Undertaker. No, he's retired.
He has retired now. Yeah.
Doing it now.
No. But basically, the start of this match was like completely one-sided in the hands of Rey Mysterio. After that, it was academic, which was like unfortunate. And I mean, I will say this: the inverted guillotine it was a nice change. I like that. It's different from like what the guillotine that Roman normally uses.
Yeah,
and like it looks more painful as well. So like,
yeah, never hurts to improve or improvise when it comes to your moves, because sometimes they'll work better depending on your situation, your size, or your opponent.
It did kind of make me laugh that Pat McAfee knew straight away what that move was called, and Michael Cole was like, "Oh, what's this?" And McAfee's like, "Oh, an inverted guillotine," and he was just like, "But Michael Cole's the specialist."
Here's where I'll defend McAfee on this. It's an MMA move, which if he's an MMA fan, he's probably seen it before.
I guess.
I'm not so sure Michael Cole is.
Yeah, true.
So that could be what it is. Because to be honest, sometimes a commentator has seen a move before and the other one hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this as well. After, like, obviously Ray's instant tap out to the inverted guillotine, you had the music playing, you had Jimmy come out, raise Roman's hand, and all that stuff. Then he hooked him in the guillotine again, threw him down on the floor, held up his title. I was really hoping for a sneaky super kick from Jimmy.
Yeah, well.
And it didn't happen.
There you go. And that was the end of SmackDown.
Yeah.
So what did we give it?
5. Three?
Uh-huh.
Now that I think about it, probably 4, because of the fact Hell in a Cell was on the show in general. That was like a main part of it, but
yeah, to be honest, that 3 was for the Cell match.
Wow.
The rest of it was pretty much nah.
In
all honesty,
it makes me kind of like it's not making me look forward to tonight at all, to be honest.
Yeah, speaking of Hell in a Cell, now it's time for predictions.
I predict I'm going to fall asleep.
I think that's a fair shout. But we'll start off in the order in which I have them listed here. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
This is match 1.
Sorry?
This is match 1.
This is how I have them listed.
Oh, I'm going to bed early. Especially if it's as bad as their recent matches. If it's anything like their takeover matches at NXT, great.
The battleground match on the main roster was pretty good too.
Yeah, if it's anything to the caliber of that or above, then great. And if it's got like a little twist in it that adds to Sammy's conspiracy nut theory thing, like somebody in a black suit and glasses comes out and or something like that, something crazy. But yeah, anything other than that, then I'm not interested really.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if Sammy actually got the victory.
This is the thing, though. This being these two guys, neither of them were on Smackdown.
Hmm?
They weren't on Smackdown to do anything to do with their match. Owens was in the tag match, and that was it. Sammy wasn't involved at all.
Sammy cost Owens the tag match.
Boo-hoo happened the other week as well.
Yeah, I think that's why Kevin Owens asked for him in the match, because he was getting pissed off with him and he wants to shut him up.
Yeah, but it meant nothing, is my point.
I think they just had a few minutes at Hell in a Cell they wanted to like put on a match.
Yeah. So we got Sammy and Kevin. So you got a prediction for us, because you know that's the idea.
I'm hoping that Sammy wins this and we don't get any more conspiracy crap to do with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to be wrong. I think it's Kevin.
Yeah, I said I wanted Sammy to win. I didn't think he was going to. I don't think he's going.
I think it'll be Kevin.
Yeah, same.
So there you go. It's a 2 for Kevin. Next thing I have is Cesaro versus Rollins.
I think Cesaro due to DQ.
Yeah, I could see how that would work, definitely. This one,
I see WWE dragging this rivalry out until we're blue in the face.
So this one is ones where I could see it going a number of different directions. So I find this one probably the hardest out of all of them to actually do an actual pick for. But
yeah,
I'd say probably Cesaro as well, but I'm not sure how.
I mean, I'm gonna say Cesaro, like generally, but I think creatively probably DQ.
I can see that working.
Rollins loses his rag and just beats him to a pulp in the corner and causes a 5 count.
Yeah. Well, I'll be interested in what you say for the next one. Shayna Baszler versus Alexa Bliss.
They got 2 words. Don't care.
I
think Bliss will win because the way they're using Shayna at the moment.
Do you think there'll be Lily involvement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I care? No.
I mean, I'm with you. I think it would be Bliss as well, but I suspect we might even see a physical manifestation of Lily.
Yeah, Paige makes her return with Lily face paint. Love it.
Or someone does anyway.
Selena Vega.
You mean Thea Trinidad?
Yeah, that one.
So apparently not with Thea, but that's something I can get to later if you want. Because apparently she might be going somewhere in WWE.
I've heard that rumor too.
What I've heard is a bit more than a rumor, but anyway. So let's just say there's a few people have said a few things, and they kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Whether it happens, of course, nothing entirely, but you know, until people actually appear on something, you don't really know.
The funny thing is about Lily, she's got red hair.
Yeah.
do we know that's supposed to be coming back and has red hair?
Eve Marie, she already did it.
No, Becky Lynch.
Oh yes, I was going to get to that once we did the predictions, but yeah, apparently she's in spotty training in the Capital Wrestling Center.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to have Becky back wrestling if she wants to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they'll probably leave it until after WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's just not have Lily. Let's just not have it be as Lily though.
Yeah, I genuinely think that they're going to wait until Royal Rumble for Lynch to come back and her be like number 1 in the Royal Rumble. Because
in the Rumble match. Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, I can see it being in the Rumble. Maybe not number 1 because it would be her first match back in quite a while. Well, I can see it being in the match. Yeah.
I think if she puts the time in the gym, and then I could see her like doing the whole man persona again, and going from pillar to post in the Royal Rumble on her return.
The thing about that, it's a nice idea, but endurance in a wrestling match is like you can only really get by having wrestling matches. There's no real substitute for it, right? And if you're in a Rumble match from beginning to end, that's at least an hour, and that's a long time to be in a ring.
Yeah.
It's just whether she could physically be up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's possible? Sure. But you're asking a lot of somebody on a return to last that long. That's if she makes it to the end, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to just to appear and then be thrown out, then sure, that's not difficult at all. But if you want to be at the end or even win it, you're looking at least an hour.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an ask.
It is.
But not impossible. Wrestlers have done it.
Rey Mysterio. Edge.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's my point. It's certainly possible. Anyway, so yeah, next match, women's title match for Raw. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's curious to narcolepsy.
No, I thought that was the match before.
Yeah, that's fair. So, are we going for Rhea or are we going for Charlotte?
I want Rhea to win.
Yes, but do you think she's going to win is the question.
I'm going to say yes.
Unfortunately for I was going to say, unfortunately for the world at large, I think it's going to be Charlotte.
Wouldn't surprise me. She's getting near to 16 time world champion, so she'll probably woo her way past that.
Yeah, some bollocks like that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That leads us to the Smackdown Women's title match, which is inside Hell in a Cell. That's Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
They don't care.
Nope. Neither do I, but here's the thing. I think this match has the potential to be very interesting now it's inside the cell, though, because I think there's a lot of things these two women could do in a cell match.
Well, yeah, we've seen Bayley and Sasha Banks in a Hell in a Cell match, and Bayley knows the ins and outs of Hell in a Cell's ass.
Yeah, and Bianca's no slouch when it comes to doing stuff, so I can see these two having quite an interesting cell match, in all honesty.
Yeah, neither of the women in this match are lazy. Add the Hell in a Cell stipulation, and you've got yourself a firecracker.
Yeah, if any of the women's matches that are on this card could possibly do something in a cell, it's these two.
I could see this being one of those matches that I'll gladly go back and watch again.
It would be nice to have one on this card, wouldn't it?
But at the same time, the storyline's just so dead in the water that I'm really not bothered who wins.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is the lead up to this has been bad, but I think the match itself could be quite good considering.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The match will be great.
Yeah.
Just wish the storyline was as good.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, the thing with the matches are very much down to the wrestlers.
Yeah.
But the storylines, of course, are written for them. And yeah, that explains a lot of differences. So, yeah.
I mean, I heard that Braun Strowman did an interview and he said if half of the stuff that I came up with was used in writing, the ratings would be through the roof.
To be fair, he's probably not wrong.
This is like, yeah, probably. I mean, you'd be flipping cars left, right, and centre, no doubt. So,
yeah, which people would have liked, not being fired.
Yeah. Like, show the angry monster, not the locomotive bullshit that they gave him. Yeah. Dead in the water.
Release.
That's my jab on that hurt.
Yeah, they inject you. For those of you who haven't had the jabs yet, they inject you in the arm which you're not dominant with.
No, they asked me what I wanted to, which one I wanted to have done.
They don't do it in your right hand. If you're right-handed, they only do it in your left.
Yeah.
No, they asked me what arm I wanted it done.
Yeah, but they're supposed to only do it. They're supposed to do it in the hand which you don't write with. There is actually a reason why.
They didn't say anything like that to me. They just asked me if I wanted it in my left or my right, and I said left.
Oh dear. They are actually.
They shouldn't be doing that.
They are supposed to ask.
What?
They are supposed to ask you which arm, because legitimately one of the side effects is your arm can end up going completely numb, and if it's the arm you use the most, you're going to have a problem.
Well, I mean, it didn't much help me the fact that I went to the hospital afterwards, and the nurse that I had to see before I went into the neurology place did my blood pressure and everything, and she slapped the blood pressure cuff on my left arm. I was just like, no, I've just had my jab, and she went, oh, that's really good news. I'm really happy for you, and pressed the on button. I was like, oh! As a woman fighting on my left arm.
Sounds about right.
She looked at me and afterwards and said, you okay? I was just like, that was my jab arm. She went, you said that. Come on. I was like, your bedside manners are atrocious.
It is. That is bad.
So I was literally the only person in the department as well. It was literally just me. I was just like, what happened to everyone else? Did they all die?
She probably killed them from the way that sounds.
Did you put the blood pressure cuff around their neck and just hold down the on button?
You're probably lucky she didn't do it to you.
I was like,
Oh, dear. But yeah.
So yeah.
So Bianca or Bailey?
I'm gonna say Bianca.
I can see that. Yeah. I think probably Bianca.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, in all honesty.
So I can't see them getting Bianca to set herself up for failure this soon in her title reign.
Oh, I
she's
can.
The one who challenged for the Hell in a Cell match, so.
Yeah, but I can because it's WWE. So, but yeah.
No, I can see it in that respect, but at the same time, I can't see it affecting her because she's the EST. So, WWE seem to be really invested in the EST.
Well, you'd like to think they wouldn't, but again,
we've been wrong before.
And this company likes screwing shit up. So yeah.
Yes, they do.
Which leads us to the last match on this card, which is also Hell in a Cell, which is Lashley against McIntyre.
Is it over yet?
You have to pick who wins.
I don't care.
The point of a prediction is you have to pick one.
I prefer spoilers.
Fine, Lashley's winning.
Yeah. I'm actually with you on this one.
So
I want Lashley to win, to be honest, because I want Drew to go back to his rivalry with Sheamus.
yeah, I mean, I have actual reasons why I think Lashley will win, because I think Lashley has more opponents ahead of him if he wins, as opposed to Drew, who doesn't.
Kofi Kingston, Brock Lesnar are in the rumor mill as well.
Yeah,
And that's two. And
by
we've wanted
some-
to see Brock and Lashley for a long time, and it's in his contract.
yeah, there's also a few other people you can rotate back in round once you've had him face Kofi as well. So you can have him fight some of those. There's AJ.
Yeah, but make him lose the tag title first.
Oh no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't have to beat Lashley, but it's an opponent, is what I'm saying. There are more opponents for him.
But also, we touched on this last week, but SummerSlam's in Las Vegas. Rock
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
I've heard yeah, I've heard for that you are likely to get Cena appear.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Have you heard his reviews on Fast and Furious 9?
Nope.
It's not going well.
What do you expect?
Especially in China.
I said, what do you expect? The man thinks Taiwan isn't a country. He can't be that clever. Yeah, China, I said it. Taiwan is a country, thank you.
Well, there goes the ratings.
It's the People's Republic. Yeah, it's the Republic of China, which is Taiwan, just to be clear to people. The People's Republic of China is the communist country of China. Just to be clear, that's what the difference is. But Taiwan is an actual country.
And that's the reason I didn't take geography.
It's actually a political reason, because the old Chinese government was forced out by the communists, and they're now in Taiwan, which is why it's the Republic of China. And the People's Republic.
No, I was talking about the fact that I didn't know that there was more than one type of China.
Yeah, one's communist and one isn't. That's literally what it is. The one that calls itself the People's one is the communist one, which is mainland China.
I don't want to go to China. I want to go to Japan.
I've explained it very simply because I didn't want to go into loads of detail about it, but that's the best way to identify them.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you're in China itself, though, calling Taiwan a country will generally get you in a lot of trouble because they don't recognise it as a country. But anywhere else in the world does. And the Cena thing is because the Chinese are the big people who spend all the money at the box office, and the fact you call Taiwan a country basically means that's going to put the Chinese from actually watching the film, which is probably why he did apologise to them, but nobody bought that bullshit. Yeah. In all honesty, though, the film is probably crap. After all, it's a Fast and Furious movie.
A bloody good film, Chief.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the first 5, maybe. Anything after 6 was kind of. It should have stopped after Paul Walker passed, in my opinion. But that's my opinion.
I think that's a fair comment.
No, I agree.
Because like the franchise in itself, the first few movies were great. Then Paul Walker obviously passed away in that car accident, which is really sadly ironic. And but yeah, it was It was downhill from there, Fast and Furious wise.
About number 7, wasn't it? You do it. 7, I'm sure. She's number 9.
7,
Shit.
yeah.
3.
Your mum's right, 7, because you had 8 afterwards.
Yeah.
Was he in 7? I thought he died during the
was in-
filming of 7.
It was,
Yeah,
yes,
but he is in 7, but some of the bits at the end where he's in, that's not him, it's
Very
his
brother.
brother, and the CGI did the rest of it. Yeah, there's 7.
I was half right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So he's not in 8, and he's not in Hobson Shaw either. So
Hobbs and Shaw doesn't count.
it's classed as a Fast and Furious movie, though. That's the thing, because it's Fast and Furious presents Hobson Shaw,
Yeah,
But I liked
That's number
Hobbs
8.
and Shaw.
but it still counts.
I like that.
Did you spot Roman Reigns' amazing acting in that, by the way?
He played a wrestler. Wait, no, he didn't. He played a Samoan. Sorry. Oh wait, no, he does that already. Oh fuck, what did he play? Plot twist.
It was some amazing acting he had in that film.
Right alongside with the constipated or whatever it is he does.
Yeah.
Every time he does that, I think he's crying out for the bathroom.
That's fair enough.
That's why the match ends afterwards. Can't go anymore.
I had too much curry. Yeah, there's so many things, but yeah, that's the end of the predictions anyway, because we've now covered that. So
I reckon rating wise, we're looking at a 6, 5 maybe.
I am not hopeful for. I think
the main show stealer will be Belair and Bailey.
that's why it's getting a 4. In all honesty, I don't have any sort of hope for the rest of the card.
I mean, I'm only going to be really interested in like one match, like 2 matches wrestling wise, 1 match creative wise, see what happens, and then the rest are just okay. I can sit and snack on stuff and stare at a screen in boredom.
Well, the problem with this event is it's basically the build-up has been shocking.
I mean, what I do most of the time when it comes to these pay-per-views now is I watch it once as a fan, where I sit back and enjoy it, and then I watch it a second time and I think about like the match, what it's done, what it means going forward, and stuff like that, and that's when I'll rate it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because I mean, like when you first watch something, you can get like, well, for me anyway, I don't know if it's because I'm autistic or not, but when I watch a pay-per-view, or sometimes even like Monday Night Raw, sometimes I can really get really invested into it, like, and forget to take notes, and I'll just be like, that's me watching it as a fan, and
Well,
then
that's how a fan would watch it. Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, and then after that, I watch it again, and I'm just like, well, this bit sucked. This bit's okay. What the fuck was this?
So,
Who's that walking next to Eva Marie? And then, of course, like other stuff.
yeah, it depends on what your experience is and stuff. I mean, because I've actually done wrestling, I watch these things slightly differently.
Yeah.
So there's things you look out more for if you've done it than if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, you can still watch it as a fan and enjoy it, but there are things you are going to notice more so because of your experience.
I mean, I find it easier when it comes to pay-per-views. Watching it the first time is always the best time to watch it as a fan.
Yes.
Because if you watch it the second time as a fan, you already know what's going to happen and it's been spoiled for you. So what's the point?
Yeah, your enjoyment of it should be the first time you watch it, because that's when you're going to get the most out of it. for future
If you enjoy
watching.
it in the first place.
Well, that's when you should hopefully get the most out of it. If you rewatch later, then it should be just because you want to see what you've missed, or if you like what we're doing, review it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to show your mates, look at this match I watched, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I miss about like Aleister Black. Like some of his matches were just like, wow. Like I need to show you this. Like I should need to show you what happened in this match. And, like some of Randy Orton's RKO's like last year. It's like, God, I need to show you this match. I need to show you this moment in this match. Like the real gripping stuff that I could watch as a fan, and now like this stuff just has all gone downhill now that we're starting to leave the Thunderdome. And it's just like, if this is what's happening as we're about to leave the Thunderdome, what's going to happen when we have left the Thunderdome?
Well, the thing you say about that is, once you have live fans back in the venue, I suspect they may be held more to account by those same fans. Hopefully they are anyway.
It'd be funny if like they go back, they leave the Thunderdome and they boo all the people that Vince wants them to cheer, and cheer all the people that Vince wants to boo.
Yeah, and you know what will happen eventually, probably 2 weeks after that starts happening. One of the Hills will come out and go, "You don't know who you want. We know who you want."
Yeah.
It's just one of the things they do.
It'll be like a 24. It'll be like a 24/7, 365 Philadelphia tour for WWE. Because that crowd even booed Santa Claus, to quote Jerry the King Lawler.
Yep, some crowds just won't swallow if you try giving them bad stuff. It just won't happen. Chicago's a big one for that.
Philadelphia with ECW.
Yeah. You mentioned Philadelphia, Chicago,
Madison Square Gardens.
No, they're generally not so bad. Madison Square Garden is quite a neutral thing. You've got to think more about traditional wrestling strongholds that aren't WWE centric, and New York is. Ones like Chicago, San Francisco, and the likes. Those again, WWE stronghold. Anything that's the Northeast is generally WWE territory. You need to be looking at the wrestling.
Arabia?
You need to be looking at. I'm talking about ones in America. If you're looking at like American ones, you need to be looking at the wrestling places which are outside of the Northeast.
China.
And those will be much more critical. We're always talking about America. Don't be silly.
That China. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm sorry.
So he agrees with me. You're not funny, right?
I think we've been off the hook.
Yeah, I would like to hope it does get better when you got the fans back. But again,
not holding breath. Don't blame you.
So it could be worse.
Could be, probably will be.
Well, we'll find out in about
5 months.
Well, as far as pay-per-view goes, you'll find out in about 4 or 5 hours' time.
Do I really want to watch this live?
I don't know, do you?
I know I'm going to fall asleep. I've been up since 7:30.
Well, we'll see what happens, won't we?
I mean, I could go upstairs and play a bit of video games.
You can always stream if you want.
I would, but I'm trying to get my viewing. I'm trying to get my streaming hours down, so that way it will level out my average, so I can get affiliated quicker.
Okay. I did wonder why I haven't seen your thing pop up at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it two times a week, sticking at that, just at the moment.
Gotcha. Which probably means that we should probably actually do the outros and stuff. So obviously, the charity.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to give it some support? There
Yeah,
you
no
go.
donations yet this month.
Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully that does change. And also, you can follow Aaron's Adventures on Twitch.
Yep. We've got S Cubed on Saturday and Fortnite Fun on Mondays.
Yeah, you guys can find the links below if you need them.
Sorry,
Definitely.
what?
S Cubed is actually the viewer's choice as well, which has been actually going pretty well recently too.
That's cool. It's good to know.
Yeah. Past Saturday was Warzone.
Exactly. Obviously, for the channel stuff, this is our Patreon. You guys can help us with this stuff as well. We have the Twitter. We have the Insta. Links are down below for those as well. So that sort of stuff does help us out. So your next stream will be Monday then? Was it?
Yep.
Yep.
Tomorrow.
So yes, it would be. So tomorrow evening, I'm guessing, knowing you.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow evening UK time. If you follow Aaron's channel, you'll get a notification probably telling you he's on. So
I mean, depending on what my mum's doing, will be depending on whether or not I stream during the day or not. But I'm scheduled to stream at 8:00 GMT.
UK time. Just tell them UK time. It's much easier.
Yeah, British Standard Time.
Yeah, that's why. Because that way, even if you get the GMT and the BST change, if you say UK time, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if people look up, it'll just show the local time.
It's 4 of them.
So, because some parts of the world have some really weird time things, it's just better to try and make it simple.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like playing with people that are in America, so like they're 5 hours behind.
That's East Coast.
Yeah, so by the time they finish streaming, it's like 2:00 here.
Yeah, because you've got East Coast is 5 hours, West Coast is 8 hours, then you've got Central America, which is another time zone, and you've got Mountain Time, which is a 4th time zone. So there's 4 time zones in America.
Yeah, and it's like 9:00 there, and 2:00 in the morning here. It's like I'm still awake, totally awake.
Well, yeah, look at it this way. When I used to do podcasts with a friend of mine, he was in Australia. He'd start his in the morning. It would be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning here, and that was when we'd start.
Yeah,
because that's what the time difference was.
Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine was also he lost his home a couple of weeks ago. He was forced to move out, so he hasn't been streaming for a few weeks.
Okay.
But I've been keeping in contact with him outside of like streaming and stuff, like keeping like him up to date with everything that's been going on, like with the Crow fam and stuff. But yeah, he's still looking for a new place.
Well, that's good. That you're keeping up to date. I mean, not that he's home, not he's lost his home. Obviously, that's not good.
No.
Well, hopefully that's sorted out soon. He's got a home again, so that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's staying with his partner's mum at the moment. I know what it's like.
No comment. That's all I'm saying to that. No comment at all. And with that, people, we will let you go for the evening because we've both got stuff to do now. So we'll just see you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Aaron's off to punish himself with Hell in a Cell because he deserves it.